Alright, yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and while I'm just sitting here hatching Cranidos eggs anyway, attempting to get that shiny, I thought I'd go ahead and make a video talking about whether or not I think they will do a yearly anniversary event from this point forward in PokeMMO. Now, if you don't know, the 10-year anniversary event recently happened last year, 2022, around June, I believe, and that anniversary event brought a lot of new items into the game. Some of my favorite new limited items, the anniversary cake particle effect, the chest, the golden chest, etc., etc. We see on the anniversary chest, they say exclusive to the PokeMMO 10th anniversary 2022, but on the cake particle effect, there's a very important line of text. It says seasonal anniversary item. Now, seasonal items, as many of you know, appear every single year. Usually, there's a couple exceptions, and we'll talk about those. But seasonal items generally come back every season. A really good example of this is something like, I believe I own one or should have one, the Santa hat. Yes, the Santa hat is a seasonal Xmas item. Now, this hat, as you can see, first came out in December 2013, but it comes back every single year for Christmas. This is the same reason why I tell people never to buy the sleigh if it's like really, really expensive, because you can just wait for Christmas. And once the Christmas event rolls around, or the winter event, whatever you want to call it, it comes back, and it's always in the gift shop, so it always lowers in price. So these items can sort of never really raise in crazy prices because they're seasonal. However, these are, they have a little emoji. They say seasonal Xmas items. For the cake particle effect, it says seasonal anniversary item. There's no emojis. There's no like little image or PNG or whatever. And it doesn't really guarantee it, because they could still have it be a seasonal anniversary item, but them still not host a anniversary every year. Does that make sense? A really good example of this, let's go ahead and find it. I might actually have it on me in my inventory. Yes, the torch. The torch is a seasonal item. You even see how most of the seasonal items will have that little icon to display it. For whatever reason, the cake doesn't, which is really interesting to me. But this is a seasonal anniversary item. Compare that to the Santa hat and compare that to the torch. Now, the torch is a quote-unquote seasonal item, but it's not based around any season. If you don't know, I actually made a video on this recently. The torch and the pitchfork. These are two items that are quote-unquote seasonal, essentially just meaning they return to the game and return to the gift shop whenever the developers so please, or whenever the developers want them to. The torch and the pitchfork are essentially rewarded to the community whenever the developers make a mistake, and they allow the community to riot. It's a very fun, sort of flavorful, and honestly very humility centric item for the developers, and I love them. I love the torch and the pitchfork, but that's beside the point. The point is, I don't know what's going to happen with the anniversary event. I don't know if they're going to host a new one every year. I don't know if they're just going to save these for like in the 15th year anniversary, or maybe the 20th. Maybe they're just prepping for like super giga long term, which I mean is nothing new to PokeMMO. The PokeMMO developers are infamous or famous for preparing very much in the long term, which I'm a huge, huge fan of. MMOs are all about surviving. MMOs are all about the 10-year plan. Look at things like old school RuneScape. Look at things like original RuneScape. Games that big MMOs, they have to last, and having to survive your economy and everything is super important. But I don't know. I think I'm leaning towards, and we'll just see when it comes around June, July time this year. I think I'm leaning towards, I might see them doing an anniversary event every year at the same time. I think it would be awesome. I'd be happy to see that, because it's kind of PokeMMO's dead time. Everybody knows about event season, but if you don't know, event season is Halloween, Christmas, and the Lunar New Year event. It's 3 events back to back to back. That's October, December, and usually late January. Now, there's no events from January all the way until October. It's like, what, 9 months, 8 months or so of time usually. It's crazy. So it's a very big dry period for PokeMMO. Now, PokeMMO's player base and player numbers actually spike the most during the summer. Kids are off from school, teachers are off from school, usually college students get a break, etc., etc. And sort of the world just sort of takes off, in the summertime. And it makes sense, especially for a Pokemon game, right? Even though PokeMMO's player base is generally older, especially looking at my YouTube analytics and everything, but still, I want to talk about this. PokeMMO's player base usually spikes really hard during the summer. It's really interesting. So them adding a summer event or an event in the summer is super awesome, in my opinion. It would only spike that more and provide more incentive for players to log on and hang out and play. And I think it's a great timing. I think it's great timing for the game overall. Event season can be really exhausting. Doing October, December, January events is unbelievably brutal back to back to back, and having that full year to prepare is usually really nice, but not everybody plays that long term, so not everybody prepares the whole year just for those events, right, just for event season. So I think having that middle event to break things up makes a lot of sense. I think it works, and I think they are probably planning for it. Just my personal thoughts and opinions. This is all speculation. My thoughts and opinions are just as valid as anyone else's. I'm just sort of trying to use my experience and logic trains to have a guesstimate. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think, and what do you guys want? Do you guys think there will be a yearly anniversary event from here on forward? And do you guys want a yearly anniversary event here on forward? One quick thing I want to touch on is also the timing with Johto. So the first anniversary event brought us Kanto Alpha starters. They brought us Kanto Alpha starters, right? Now, if Johto comes out in spring, they could then have the 11-year anniversary event, right? After that. And that would be the perfect timing to bring in Johto Alpha starters and have those be the reward for the 11-year anniversary event, which I think is just perfect timing, and then they could just go in chronological order from there on out. So, I don't know, that's my thoughts on it. I think that's everything. I wanted to cover. Hopefully you guys have thoughts, opinions, comments, feedback. Leave it in the comments down below. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if you didn't, subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos, discussion topics like this, guides, money making, etc., etc. Discord is linked down below, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for talking to me. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Peace. Bye.